Hello, my name's Joe and I'm going to give you a quick rundown of how to do grid snapping inside of Unreal Engine. If you find this helpful, please like and subscribe for more videos, and don't forget to check out my website 3dassetlibrary.com for Unreal and Unity Engine assets. So, grid snapping, for anybody that doesn't know, basically when you move something, it is snapping essentially to an Unreal grid here. Inside of Unreal Engine, and this is great because this allows you to be very precise in what you're doing, and I believe it's used a lot in games to ensure that you don't get things like Z fighting, which is basically where two meshes overlap and it looks like it's wavering. It's the best way to explain it. It also allows you to create scenes very quickly when using things like modular assets. For instance, when I make modular assets, I try to set them to a value of 50 or 100 when snapping, so it allows you to basically, when you're dragging, say, a building out or a wall, it's always snapping and you're not getting any fighting, and it all looks natural. So what we'll do is we'll start here. So up the top here, right here, we've got our up, down, left, right, or X, Y, Z, which is this gizmo here. Then you've got your rotation, which is this gizmo here. So this is the amount of snaps here. Just change that a second, and then you've got your scale. So this is the amount of snaps here. Now, if you want to disable that, you can click on the little icon next to it, and that will allow you to basically move freely. Generally, I don't use that because it's you shouldn't really, because you can get yourselves in a real mess. So to change the amount of snaps, currently I think by default it's either set to 10 or 5. You can see here I've got it set to 10, and you can see it's sort of jumping a bit. We can obviously drop that. If we drop this down here next to it, next to each one there, you'll see there's a value next to each one there. They're different depending on, say, for instance, it's saying move 10 degrees, and this one's saying in 0.5 points of scale. So we'll move this to 100, and you can see here when I move this, it will jump a lot more. Now, say, for instance, if we go to our rotation value here, if we hit E on the keyboard, that brings up the rotation gizmo. And when I move this, you'll see the little circle gizmo here is starting at 0, and I move it and it moves in minus 10, or if I go that way, 10, 20, 30, it's moving in increments of 10. If I change this to, say, 45, you'll see this will move in 45-degree rotations, and it's a bigger, a bigger increment. Bigger value, sorry, and it's the same applies for scaling here. So if I just set these values back to 0 and go to press R on the keyboard, that brings up our scaling. You can see here if I drag from the middle here, it's jumping quite a bit, but we say, well, we don't want that. We want it to move into smaller increments. There we go. So yeah, that's a quick rundown of the snapping tools inside Unreal Engine. For people that don't know, these are generally very, as I say, very handy to use, very quick to use. For instance, as I said before, I use when I set up my modular assets, I try to use a 50 or 100 value, and you see here I've created this door to basically snap to each other. If I hold Alt on the keyboard and pull out, you'll see it creates a duplicate here, and it snaps to. Let me just drag that back in. It'll snap to, there you go, a value. The reason it didn't snap before is only because I moved it left, right, and didn't lock it back to what it was originally. You can see here they're all snapping to the edges here. There's no overlapping, no Z fighting or anything like that. And yeah, so if that's helped, please do like and subscribe. Cheers.